Alright guys, I've got another update. I'm kind of moving stuff around again. So we can get it in the picture here. So you can see that shelf up there. We started getting that filled up with some of the stuff. It was kind of empty. There's really not anything up there. There used to be like an old school TV and some other stuff. But we're moving some stuff around. And I did end up putting some stuff on the shelf over here. Let me pan around to that. Okay, so this area here, I want to completely get rid of this entire area because what we have here is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 radios and 2 servers and a printer, and they can all find a home somewhere else in here or elsewhere. I don't want all this stuff here. So what I would like to do is completely get rid of that, have that space open. Let's get this toolbox out of here. Let's get this out of here. Let's move it. Let's open up the room. Let's get some space in here. I want to be able to walk around in here. Yeah, I want to be able to enjoy this space before I have to leave. You know. So we don't have an exact date on anything going on here, but so basically, regardless of what's going on, I have no control over the situation. I can't change any of it, but I have to continue to downsize and get rid of stuff, so that way when it does happen, I'll be prepared. I don't know how many months I have. We're not talking about like I have to move next week, but we know that it's going to happen. We don't know when. It sounded like it was going to be really soon. Now it sounds like we don't really know. So this is a lot of stuff. And when I moved into this house in 2017, I think everything I owned probably could have fit on this bench back here. And this was one of the radios that I had. I brought that with me from Washington State. I also had an ICOM 751, but it wasn't an A model. There's an A down there. I had a ICOM 706 original with the AT180 tuner. Nope, I got rid of the tuner before I left. So I had the 706. I had the 101B, and I had also another 101E that needed to be fixed. So 751 non-A model, 706, 101B, and 101E. I had an IC2000, and I think an Alinco 85 watt radio. So I had like 6 radios, and I had a Dentron GLA 2000B amplifier and a SB200, an MFJ 989C tuner. And I think that was pretty much about all my ham radio equipment. I had a Tektronix oscilloscope and, but I mean, like, I had, like, where you had, like, a couple of bins, like these type of bins. I had, like, maybe 5 of those. That was everything. I mean, I can't fit everything I got into 5 bins anymore. But really, I need to. Because this is ridiculous. This is what happens when I live somewhere more than 2 years. I've been pretty much moving all my life. I've been here a while. I've been here since 2017, so that's the problem. you know. But anyway, guys, I'm trying to narrow it down. I'm preparing for the inevitable. And, you know, it's a little depressing. I just try not to think about it and just get busy with what needs to be done. I like Pat's idea about getting rid of the welders and getting one welder that's the size of this thing that does everything. However, after finding a $700 Yes welder at the thrift store that was missing the wheel on the MiG, and I hooked it up, and it didn't work. I don't know if the rest of it worked. It was like they wanted $200 for this broken Yes welder. I'm just like, I know this thing's not going to fucking break on me, dude. It's got the high frequency flux capacitor in it. It's a giant transformer. The only thing that ever went wrong with it was the previous owner put this plastic on here to replace the part that broke out of that. It's pretty heavy. I think it weighs 300 pounds. It goes to 150 amps AC or DC. You know, and you have to plug it into 240. It's like a 30 amp breaker style power switch. That's got to be like a breaker, isn't it? I think the serial number actually might be missing off of this thing. I remember thinking, man, this is kind of strange because I had two of them. I had another one with the HF thing. There's a high frequency flux capacitor behind there. I call it that because that's what it looks like from Back to the Future. Anyway, I had the Dial-Arc HF, which was 310, capable if you give it 100 amps at 240, capable of 310. Now this has a high frequency. You can turn it on or off, I guess. You can also have it remote. It doesn't have remote amperage. You cannot adjust the amperage. You have to do it from here. So realistically, this is exactly what it says it is. It's an Econo Twin HF. It's economy. I don't know how that ended up like marking into that, but anyway, so you can't do a whole lot with it. You got DC, you got AC, and that switches over here. So it's pretty heavy duty. But yeah, if I got rid of that, I don't think I could get $800 for it. I paid $500 for it in like 2019, 2020, somewhere around there. I bought it from a young kid over in kind of a ranching area in Arizona, and he was going to do welding, and he bought Hobart and put it in his truck. And his dad had bought him like a newer Dodge 1500, and he learned on this, I think. Well, anyway, I showed up to their fancy ranch house, and they plugged it in for me, and worked great, real smooth. I made some changes to it because it has the wheelbarrow handles. You're not gonna be able to see them. I added a tank holder and something else. I think they had cut off part of the place on it, but I added a tank holder. So anyway, it would be nice to get something smaller, but I saw the prices of the stuff on Harbor Freight. It's ridiculous. I don't want to pay $1,000 for a Harbor Freight one. This is American made, probably from the 90s maybe, based on the serial number. It doesn't say made in the USA, but trust me, these ones like this were. Test something. This one here I got for a really good deal because the hose where the gas goes in, it was an add-on kit. This is called a Weld Pack 155. It's an add-on kit. When they added the hose, they put it too close to the transformer and they ran this thing hot. And what happened was it melted the black plastic hose and it blew up a balloon. So it had a leak inside. So they got rid of it because they couldn't get it to weld properly because the gas wouldn't go through the liner because it was leaking inside the machine. So I bought this, I think, on the cart and everything down the street from here off of, like, I think it was on OfferUp. And they told me it worked perfectly fine, but they were full of crap. And they robbed part of the spool. So it was a local place next to like a gymnastics gym here in Prescott Valley. And they completely lied to me. And I'm selling it for the boss. Yeah, I used it before. It works great. We're just we're not using it anymore. And they had two of them that they were selling, and the other one was cheaper, I think, or something, or no, more expensive. But it actually was like a flux core only one. Anyway, these things, I think, when they were new, they were probably $600, $700, and you had to add the gas, which was like another $150, and the gauges are boogered up, and it's got a screw in it here instead of what it's supposed to have because they took the damn fucking knob off of it. And the big gauge doesn't work. I used it recently, so it still holds pressure. This hose is going to need to be replaced. We see that right there. But it doesn't leak. So 240 volts, and I just plug it into my guitar amplifier. I plug it in. It's a horrible plug. It's one of these really old ones. But anyway, I plug it into my thing. So between the two of those, yeah, if I got a Yes welder, I could free up some space. I mean, here's the thing. I know I have to move. I don't know where I'm going. And I really don't want to be dragging around something that big. But anyway, I don't want to be dragging around any of this. But when it comes to selling it locally, nobody's going to give me what I want for it, or even what it's even worth, even half of what it's worth. So we'll just sit on it and deal with it if the time comes. We'll figure something out. I've tried to sell everything that was of value, and these would sell probably pretty easily around here, but not for a lot of money, unfortunately. So anyway, guys, it's kind of an update. I want to dissolve this area here. I'm putting stuff up here. I need to just go through boxes and actually start throwing things away. But anyway, we're trying.